It's Peet and Reet here at the Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton with one of our favorite players.
Well, he's got a great name too, right?
He does have a great name,
Peet Dyakowski.
Favorite player.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well,
love the line. Come on, you can't do anything, and you got a great offensive line.
you know, we had to get out to a football field because we're both big-time football fans. I played a little football back in my day. Nowhere near.
Not professional.
Not professional. It was high school football, but loved the game, loved the CFL, and loved the Ticats.
Oh, thrilled to have you guys here. Welcome to my home.
It does feel like you're home. You know everything about it. As we've been
Yeah,
talking
it's
off
amazing.
the air, you've been telling us all the information. You're so involved with this, like it's your life.
Well, I've managed to stick around for 10 years, so
Yeah.
a little bit longer than some. Not as long as others, but not too bad.
It's a great field, and wow, I couldn't believe your locker rooms and stuff are amazing.
Oh, they did a
What were you
phenomenal
doing? Hang on.
job.
What were you doing in the locker room? That's where she went. We were looking for her.
I was doing interviews.
Oh, right.
Come on, it's allowed,
It's allowed now, yeah.
Journalistic work. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
you know everything. Like right above us, which they can't see right now, which we'll show you later, is where they hook up the cameras that zoom across when you guys are playing. They don't bother you. They don't make noise.
No, it tucks in right behind us. Like when we're in the huddle, they'll have it right down over our heads. You don't notice it. They're really good at operating it. They've a long-term lease, I believe, with the cameras. So we've got them here for all our home games, and they're going to have them for years to come. It's a great feature. It lets the fans at home feel like they're in the stadium with us. You know, because when you're watching at home, you want to have something that really makes you feel like you're in the action. Here, they did such a good job with the way they built it. Steep sides on the stands.
Yeah.
There's not a bad seat in the place.
It's like when I'm watching at home, watching a game because I can't make it out, I'm like yelling at the screen. Honestly, I swear so much at home watching that screen. If you guys aren't winning, I'm like, oh my, it just goes crazy.
Now
but I love it.
The interesting thing is you can seat or usually stand 25,000 people, but then the end zones are made, and of course this used to be Iverwin Stadium, right? And it's been flipped.
Yep.
So it now faces, when you look at the end zones, you're looking north-south, which helps, of course, with sun.
Yeah, it keeps the sun out of your eyes. When the sun's setting, you've got 2 quarters a game where it's right in your eyes. And for an offensive lineman, we've got linebackers blitzing here and there, trying to figure out who's going where with the sun right behind them. Receivers, it's a hassle for them. Quarterbacks, I don't think like it either. So this is really nice. We went north-south, which was terrific. But as you can feel, you can't really notice it if you're watching. But it creates a great wind tunnel with the wind coming off of the Niagara Escarpment over here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right
actually.
through. Kickers love this stadium.
I bet.
It somehow swirls. We'll see the flags blowing in different directions at opposite ends of the stadium. It's, I think, one of the most challenging stadiums in the league for wind for kickers, which makes it just that much more entertaining for fans because nothing's guaranteed.
And it's outside. That's the best ever.
Oh,
To
yeah.
play outside is just the best. I mean, I love NFL football too, but I love CFL because I want to sit outside in the cold and the rain and the muck and whatever.
No
and
snow,
enjoy.
though, right? No
well,
snow.
yeah. Notice I didn't mention that. But I love that atmosphere. Plus, you can hear the players. You guys are right there. That's great to hear you guys all high-fiving each other or yelling at each other, whatever happened.
Oh, and we hear the fans too.
Oh, definitely.
Which, now the crowd here is very family friendly, but they're a pretty raucous group. Now the old Iverwin, when they were on top of you in the dugouts,
Oh, yeah.
you heard every single word, and there was a lot of colorful phrases being directed.
And you thought they were
going to
come through on top of you too.
Yeah.
Sometimes did.
Now this is a really cool field. You look at this and you go, I would really like to get out here and play. Now I did get a chance to go out in Iverwin and play around a little bit, and I'll tell you something, when you hit the ground, it hurt. It hurt a lot. Now what's this like?
This is a lot softer than Iverwin. So the old Iverwin was basically a carpet on top of concrete.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh yeah, it felt like it too.
This is a very modern turf system. It's got an underlayment, and then the grass itself, artificial, grass stems, and there's ground tires, ground rubber between all of the, the grass blades, and it creates a very natural feeling surface. It's like playing on grass. For big guys especially, it's a little easier on the knees. Well, it's a terrific system. It drains well. It never gets sopping wet or anything. So it's nice. It's high tech. 2016, the age we live in, right?
There you go. There you go.
Amazing.
Well, we're going to hold you right there.
And talk more football.
We are.
Yeah, and actually talk
Get
about
into
the game.
the nitty gritty too of his life.
Exactly. When we come back on the Peet and Reet Show.
Reet here, and well,
Okay, Coach, I'm running a fly pass. I got it.
You know, when usually when you guys are out there and you're running back and forth, now you're talking about the rubber underneath the stadium, underneath the grass. Well, usually when you hit the turf, I thought it was like smoke coming out because it kind of gives that like.
Oh, it
look
bounces
to
up.
it.
There's a bit of a cloud there. Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's a cool effect.
There was no cloud with you though. You didn't hit the turf.
No, Coach says I'm standby on left guard coming up Saturday.
Is that the most exercise you've had in like a while?
I'm holding it in.
You know, our therapists are still here.
All right,
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
that's you guys.
Need a little back crack. There you go.
It actually feels really nice to run out there.
Does it?
It's nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Awesome.
Get a little smoke. So let's get into football. Like you guys did good this year. The record was second in the East, right?
Well, yeah, we're on our way to the top.
Yeah.
But we're taking a circuitous route to get there. We'd like to have more wins than we do at this point, but we're in the dance. We're in the playoffs. We've got a shot, and that's all you want. We're a couple games out from the Grey Cup, and that's all you can ask for.
Sometimes it's better not to be the number one because you get this cocky kind of attitude, and if you're second, it's like, now we got to really strive for it.
Well, yeah, you want to be the underdog, right? Look at Rocky and Rocky 2 versus Rocky at the start of Rocky 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
True. Right?
All right. Did you always want to be a football player?
You know what? It came to me later on in my teenage years. I wasn't a huge football fan. I went to a lot of BC Lions games growing up in Vancouver.
Because you're a Vancouver kid.
Vancouver, right, yep. But I grew up playing soccer. I was a soccer player. Louis Pisaglia, the kicker, was my favorite player for the Lions.
Oh, wow.
And it was only grade 10 where I went out for football. And I wanted to get in shape. I wanted to get a little bit more exercise. I wanted to get stronger. I figured my cousin played at the University of Alberta, and he was encouraging me. I figured football could give me some more exercise.
Ryan, look at you. Still giving you some good
Yeah,
exercise.
apparently. So what do you weigh? Look, like, you don't have to tell me exactly, but you're a big guy.
Oh, no offense, right? And this is one of the few jobs you can just walk up to anyone and say, what do you weigh? I'm listed at 315, and I usually come into training camp a little bit more than that, and by this point in the season, I'm a little bit less than that, so I'm probably at about 312 today at this exact
What do you
time.
eat for like a meal before a game or
And does the team control what you eat?
Not really, no. We have a nutritionist who consults with the team, with the athletic therapy staff, and will give guides to all the players. So we all have guides made by professionals. When you get to this point, you're not going to find a lot of players who don't take good care of themselves. There's so many players at the university level who want to play professionally. It's only the guys who do things properly who are going to get there. So you can kind of count on guys to look after themselves. And everyone works a little bit differently. So I find what works for me might not necessarily work for the other guy.
Of course.
I love my berries. So I have a huge berry smoothie every single morning, every single day of the year. I probably have that over 300 days of the year, the exact same breakfast. So on a game day, I'll have that huge berry smoothie, berries, oats, crack a bunch of eggs into it, milk, yogurt, protein powder, all of this stuff. I have that. On a game day, I'll have 6 to 8 coffees prior to kickoff. I get fired up, right?
Oh yeah, adrenaline, woo!
Yeah, and then right before coming to the stadium, I get to the stadium about 3 hours early. I have a long process. I've got all my braces and tape to get on. I do a long warm-up before the warm-up. My warm-up gets a little bit longer every year. This is
that an age
year
thing?
10 now.
Yeah, it's age.
So the warm-up gets a little bit longer. So I'm leaving my house, 3.5 hours before the game, give or take. So usually on the way over, I will stop at, could be a number of different places, but generally what I stop off for is a cheeseburger or two. That's my
or two.
That is my pregame nutrition. I have all this healthy stuff. I've got loads of berries in my smoothie and all this stuff. But then, right before the game starts, I want to have a little bit of caloric density, something in the tank that's going to carry me through.
Yeah.
Which, it's going to be, if I eat 3.5 hours before the game itself runs about 3 hours. So I'm not eating, for another 7 hours.
Yeah.
And when you get into the late game, a few weeks ago in Ottawa, we were in double overtime. You don't want to be running on empty.
Yeah, no kidding.
And
That's
of course,
crazy.
just down the street here, there's a great Polish place that has pierogies and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, Starpolski, right around the corner. Yeah, 2 sandwiches for $4.
Hey, there you go. Good ad
You
for them.
can't beat that, and some kielbasa too. As
Oh
well, right?
yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about Hamilton. And you can't find another city with the selection of sub $5 sandwiches as you can here. The number within walking distance of the stadium, $3.50 sub specials. It's amazing.
Beautiful. More with Peter Dyakowski from the Ticats when we come back on the Peet and Reet Show.
here at Tim Hortons Field.
Did you notice? Did you notice?
What?
I didn't run that time. I went in to see them. They gave me a massage and said, really, at your age, you shouldn't be.
Take a couple weeks off.
Really shouldn't.
You pulled something.
I think I pulled everything running those plays. Listen, we got the same name, right? Peet, great names, right? But then
phenomenal.
I started football
Rock.
when I was in grade 10. At the Rock, you're right. And what happened to me was I got challenged by a friend of mine who was about 3 or 4 inches taller than me and says, you know what? You hockey players play that game because you're so lame and you're really women. That's what you are. And I said, really? Really? So they'd already been practicing for 2 weeks. And I went to the coach and said, can I please come out and play football? He goes, have you ever played before? I said, no. He said, why do you want to come? I said, just got this real desire to play. And I begged him, and he said, okay, you can go out and play. Didn't know the rules. I said, just make sure I'm against too tall, because we're going to do some hitting, right?
Too tall.
And I hit him so hard that he asked me to stop. And I said, now you're going to put the skates on and come out and play hockey. Now grade 10 for you too, but you didn't really know the game of football either. And it's like, once you learn it, it's a great game.
Oh yeah, but especially offensive line, there's a steep learning curve because it's a collection of kind of unnatural motions. If you're a kid, running and catching a ball is natural. Throwing a ball is probably pretty natural. Running after someone and tackling them kind of comes naturally. Offensive line, you're in a squatted down position. You don't want to lunge out and lean at the guy you want to hit. You want to stay in a balanced position. You want to be able to move side to side quickly. And the best technique for executing all that isn't the first thing you think of doing. So you start by being yelled at a lot by your coach.
I bet.
I have so much sympathy now for offensive line coaches, high school, Pee Wee, and college, professionally even, because of what they have to deal with, because they are constantly fighting against instincts that can work against you. And by this point, I've trained a lot of good instincts into me, but it didn't come easily. In grade 10, I was awful. I was, in a big high school with a lot of guys in the football team. I was on the team, but I wasn't really playing. And whenever we got a big lead, I would actually kind of melt back.
Hope you're not going in.
Behind the other guys in the sideline.
Can you imagine?
To hope the coach would turn around and say, Peter, get in. So I only saw the field, 4 or 5 times that whole year. That off season, the varsity coach saw some potential in my frame. He got me in the weight room every single day after school. And from March of grade 10 through the end of July to the start of August, going into my grade 11 year, I went from about 220 pounds to 275 pounds.
Wow.
So I gained 55 pounds in 5 months, which is about a pound every 3 days.
Wow.
And football was a lot more fun. After that, right? He sent me to a bunch of camps over the summer too, and all of a sudden I was good at football, and I had really come a long way. And grade 11 was great, grade 12 was even better, and then I got a bunch of scholarship offers and went down to Louisiana State University, LSU. Go Tigers!
5 years and did fantastic down there.
Yeah, we had a great run. I had Nick Saban as the head coach and Les Miles, 2 of the great college football coaches down in the States. It was an incredible experience. Louisiana is a phenomenal place. If you haven't taken a vacation down there,
In the bayou?
Yeah, exactly.
Head on down. The food is fantastic. I sampled all of it.
Everything there was.
Everything.
Now, you got a chance to play a little, actually go out there with the Saints, right? When you were down there?
New Orleans.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play with the Saints, but I got to practice with them a fair bit.
Yeah.
So that was my first job out of college, and a lot of people get fired from their first job out of college.
Of
course.
So you expect.
What was memorable to you down there? What was memorable?
Well, you know what? They've got a big budget down there.
Oh, yeah.
And the food was phenomenal. After practice, we had tenderloin one day. I mean, I'm still waiting. We have great food here. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The team Ticats take care of us really well, but we still haven't had tenderloin after practice.
We're putting a word in for tenderloin.
Waiting for that.
We can cook it up for them.
Bob, just saying.
Just get us on the field during the game. We'll cook it up for you.
I want to know, before we let you go, what is the wackiest person? Who is the wackiest person on your team?
I got to say the wild man, Louis Richardson, number 77 for us. He's a demon on special teams. He plays defensive end. He comes off the edge. But when you play football or any sport, you come across a lot of unique personalities. It takes a certain kind of person to do this, to go all the way, to make it their life. And some guys are somewhat conventional. I consider myself a normal person, but I've never been accused by anyone else of being overly conventional. But this guy, he is one of my favorite all-time players. He is a nut. He's insane in the games, and off the field, he's a lovable guy, but craziest guy I've ever played against.
I want to get into a couple more questions, technical questions, when we come back on the Peet Show.
It's Peet and Reet here at Tim Hortons Field with Peter.
Having a blast.
Dyakowski, yes. Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. I don't want you to go because
Come back often.
We will.
We
not,
will.
Not during the winter months, though.
No.
Yeah.
no.
So let's get into some
Season.
technical stuff here, right?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you're on the line. You got a quarterback who's there looking at the defense. He's calling different things. So you're not just like, we called the play before we get up to the line, just so you understand if you haven't played football before.
Yeah.
And then he's going to start calling audibles, which are giving you cues to change what you're doing.
Yeah.
How do you hear them?
It gets loud. That's the thing. A great quarterback, one of the good qualities that an offensive line finds in a great quarterback is he's loud and he's clear. When it's loud, you can barely hear a thing, but a really good quarterback, his voice is going to cut through that. And we're listening for it. We're tuned in. When you practice with a guy, all through training camp, all through the season, you really get to pick up on his voice. So when it's loud, you pick it up. But it's tough. There's some games where you have to go on silent and your audible game is taken out of it. And when you're here, because it's so steep, the opponents do have to go on silent cadence sometimes.
Yeah.
And it takes out their audibles. Then they have to do it off of signals or they have to pass it like a game of telephone, and that's when they make mistakes. It's a big advantage. But no, when we're up on the line, say the quarterback sees the safety rolling down, he doesn't like what he's called, or maybe the box is emptied out, it's a good situation to check to a run. He's able to do that. So we've got different calls where just one word he can yell and he repeats it about 3 times to make sure everyone hears it. Keys us in that we've got to this built-in check. So instead of passing a long ball, we're instead going to hand it off to the running back and run it right up the gut because we see it's gotten pretty soft in there. There's a lot to it. We can have we have some plays where we don't even have a play called until we're on the line. And we've gone, we can go through the cadence and be calling it in the cadence before the snap. I have a lot of respect for quarterbacks. This guy is seeing all 12 players on the field, moving around all at once, and he's figuring it out.
And he's reading a play.
Yeah, reading the play, and he's thinking about what he's telling the line to do, what he's telling the receivers to do, what he's telling the back to do, where he's telling the back to go block.
And the guy running up his butt.
Yeah,
It's 4-dimensional.
and then after he's done all that, he's going to know where the free guy's coming from.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
And when he's going to get the ball off before he's going to get smoked.
Sacked.
And to do all that with the threat of a 320-pound defensive lineman bearing down on you, it takes some nerve.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
4 downs, 3 downs. What do you think? What's it?
3, way better.
Why?
I love it.
It keeps the game moving. 4 downs, you can really kill a clock when you got in the 4-down game. A game is over at 4 minutes if a team has a lead and they got possession.
Right.
In our league, in our game, the Canadian game, the game is not over until you've got
Till the fat lady sings.
exactly
as they say.
right. I've seen with 1 minute and 10 seconds left, I've seen 3 more possessions. It's phenomenal, right? The kicking game is so much more important. You've got more special teams reps. You've got more punts, more returns. And that return, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
So when you've got that, I think it makes it more exciting. And on offense, it makes a first down so much more important. So for an offensive lineman, when we like runs, we like to run the ball. That's when you're an offensive line, you want to go head to head with the D tackle and smash into them. So we want to get a run called. We're calling run on first down. If you blow it, in the NFL, if you get 3 or 4 yards, that's a fine run.
Yep.
In the CFL, that's almost a wasted play because then you're still in long yardage for second down. So we want to get 5 yards when we call a carry on first. That's an okay play. You'd rather a little bit more than that. So it puts a lot on the O-line. We like it. I like it. I like the pressure. And when you're really rolling, and that's dominance. In the CFL, if you've got a really good dominant run game and you're piling up those yards on first down, it's great. But another difference in our game, we've got a yard off the football. So 3rd and 1, we're going for it every single time. When you've got that space, you have to take it. And it's such an intense play, the sneak. I mean, the sneak is the distillation of football. And you line up and you explode into each other and the quarterback's got to just gash it up the gut for 1 yard. But we have a lot more of those too. We've got more 3rd and 1 plays. You're going for it more often. I think it makes it more exciting.
So now you see the passion, okay? You've been in the league for 10 years now. You see the passion in your eyes, right? For people who want to play the game of football and moms who are concerned about, of course, neck injuries and concussions and stuff like that, what do you suggest?
Well, number one, with young football players is proper equipment fitting. It's so important. If you're wearing a helmet, you can have a helmet with, they've got star ratings for hitting, right? You can have a 5-star rated helmet, but if it's not fit properly, it's not going to work properly. Proper equipment fitting for young ages. And then you're starting to see a trend in youth football organizations to teach tackling differently. In professional football, you have to get the job done. And that means tackling, putting your head across the body, putting your nose on the football, and it's violence.
Yeah.
You watch rugby, it's a different style of play.
Yeah.
And rugby tackling tends to be a little bit safer. And you're seeing a movement now in younger age groups, even high schools. I've gone guest coached at some high schools where they're teaching rugby style tackling, which means you're arm tackling, you're not throwing your body across your opponent, you're wrapping up without putting your body across. When you do that, you take a bit of a risk because it's easier to break through arms than it is to bust through, a 230-pound linebacker's body, right? When you're arm tackling in the pros, it's a bad thing and it can get a defender in trouble. But if coaches do a good job of teaching it, I think certain tackling techniques at younger age groups can really help make the game significantly safer, which is going to make
moms
parents,
feel better.
Moms are going to be
And
happier,
be
right?
in shape and work on your neck, right?
Speaking
Yes,
of
work on your neck, definitely. Strong necks. You got to transfer a lot of force if you get hit in the head. And teaching kids to not lead with the head is big too, right?
Speaking of moms, and we know you're going to the Grey Cup. So
Yeah,
is your
that's
family going to be
absolute.
here to see that?
Oh yeah, everyone's excited. We're in the dance.
Yeah.
And we got to do a lot of hard work to get there, but we feel good about ourselves. You're not going to be a professional athlete if you don't like betting on yourself. So everyone is looking. You can't worry about jinxing it either. Everyone's got to make travel plans, right? So,
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's got that date circled and the flights to Toronto worked out.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, you've had a great season so far, you personally. I know you get out there and get out and talking to the kids and stuff, and you're at a charity event that we were at a few weeks ago for autism, and kudos to you for what you've been
helping
doing
the
and for what you've been
community.
doing for the city of Hamilton.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the support the team got from the community. So and you see a lot of players, a lot of guys are happy to help. I don't think you'll find a more community-minded group of guys than CFL players. We wouldn't have our job if it wasn't for the community support we get. So if we've got a little bit of a profile, or if we just have a smiling face to lend a hand with a group or an event, why not? And I've met such phenomenal people around Hamilton, and you have a good time. My policy is to try to say yes whenever I can.
Exactly.
We can't wait to see you and the Ticats in the Grey Cup.
Oh yeah.
We know that's
Awesome.
coming up for us.
Thanks
I
so
can't wait
much.
to be there.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for having
much.
me on. Appreciate
Now
it.
listen, we're going to leave this because we're going to go down. I'm going to get my first touchdown, so that's how we're going to take this out. So guys, let's get down there and get in position. We'll see you next time on the Peet and Reet Show.
All right. Blue 52. Blue 52.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Before we do this, let's huddle up, team.
Okay.
We got to remind the people at home, click subscribe and make sure you share this with your friends.
Great idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go do the same play.
Same place.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Now we're ready to go.
Blue 52. Blue 52. Hut.
Oh!
I didn't quite get it in my hands. Hut. Hut. Blue 52. Blue 52. Hut.
Oh!
Blue 52. Blue 52. Hut. Blue 52. Blue 52. Hut.
What a block! What a block! Nice. Good work, team. All right.
Awesome.
We will see you next time on the Peet and Reet Show. But we get our breath.